See, this is an issue. Hey guys, so this video was actually a part of a longer day in my life video. For proof, here's footage of me recreating IKEA's gravid lox meal for lunch, which was also a part of that video. Anyways, I realized when editing that each segment deserved its own video since I end up talking a lot. The previous video of me cutting soap was also a part of that day in the life video, which is why I'm wearing the same thing. But with that being said, here's my video on when 3D hand press molds don't press right and how I fix the issue. These molds are a bit of a learning curve, but they're totally worth it, as you will see later on in this video. So without further ado, let's begin the video. So today I'm making my Rose Dragon bath bombs, and they are in this gorgeous jade color. The dye that I use is from Fitzberry, but I have a wholesale customer that's ordered a bunch of them, so I'm going to be using this cool mermaid scales ball, and I'll quickly show you how I press them. Let me just grab everything that I need. I'll be right back. I am slightly out of frame, but that is okay. So like I mentioned, I'm going to be using this 3D printed mold. I've written F on one side and B on the other. B for back and F for front, and that helps me remember which side I have my glitter on. And the glitter I'm using is my Rose Dragon glitter that I created in collaboration with Fitzberry, and it's this stunning pink bio glitter with flecks of green and silver in it. So I'm going to put the front in, and then I'm going to put the glitter in over here. Just tap it in. The glitter against the scales of this mold look stunning. I love it. And I'm going to grab my bath bomb mix, put a bunch in like that. Oh, drop some. And then I'm going to put in some embed powder for a surprise color pop, like so. And I'm just going to complete filling it. Now once it gets close to the top, I'm going to overfill it so it's like a mound, like that. I'm going to take the back side and just put it in. I always lose track of which side is where. But I drew these lines to help me figure it out. And there you go. Just squeeze it down, but not too hard, just like enough for it to be pressed down. And then we're gonna flip it, do another quick squeeze. We're gonna remove it from the sleeve. And I'd like to do this over the bowl of bath bomb mix because it can get pretty messy. And so now we're going to tap the heck out of it using a spoon. And I like to tap until it's loose. I don't pull it from each other. And once I feel it getting loose, I flip it. So I think that's gonna do it. And that's what it looks like. And look at those cool scales. Now to unmold it, I'm actually using my bath bomb press tray, which is slightly out of frame. Let me just tip you guys to see. And to unmold it, I'm just going to get it into the cavity. Oh. Oh. And see, that can happen. So we're just going to just get it out. Let's see if I can do a more successful one for you guys. But yep, that one did not turn out good. Let's try that again. I think I might have pressed too hard on when I'm pressing down, because you really don't want to press down too hard at all. And that's the trick, I think, with a lot of these 3D printed hand molds, is to just have a lighter touch when you're pressing down on it. There's something about pressing too hard that makes the mold stick to it a little too much. So we're gonna do just a light, nothing too hard. We're gonna remove the sleeve and try that again. You can also hear when the mold releases. So here we go. We're gonna try to do that again. This time I'm gonna mold it onto my hand, see what happens. Oh no, it's not sticking. See, this is an issue. I feel like I'm being really gentle with it. It's still not cooperating. Let me just put that in there. Might be able to save that later on. Gravity to help us out there. Okay, usually when I'm having issues, I like to leave out the colors until I figure it out. Because sometimes it could be the color that is the culprit. So let's do one without any colors, secret colors on the inside. I'm not going to press down on it at all. Let's try that too. Because I was giving it a firm pat down. Okay, we're gonna try this again. I'm not gonna press down too hard. Release it from its sleeve. All right, attempt number 3. Let's see if I can get this to not. There you go. Okay, so I think the issue was giving it a firm pat down. And sometimes I forget the techniques with these molds because I make so many bath bombs and it's so much time passes between the last time I've done this. So, okay, let's try that again, this time with colors and see if it works out. Oh, no, that's the back. No firm pats down. No pat downs. Try that one more time. And I'm glad I filmed that with you because I know a lot of you get discouraged making bath bombs because you think that you're not doing something right. But it takes a lot of making bath bombs to just know how to tweak what you're doing so that it does start to work. Okay, so I didn't pat down there. Okay, I'm just going to press down and not too hard, just enough to get it even. Then I'm going to remove the sleeve and then unmold. That one got loose. Beautiful scales. And now let's see if this will unmold nicely. Ta-da! See, I figured it out. All right. And if you're wondering whether or not the bath bomb press tray flattens the scales, it does somewhat, but it's still, you can still see the scales nicely. But phew, you know, when problems like that happen, for a wholesale order no less, it can be super stressful because then you have this huge batch of bath bomb mix for bath bombs that aren't pressing properly. But that's the nature of the biz. I think these dragon egg bath bombs look so cool. I really love the scales. Again, we didn't pat anything down. We're only pressing down lightly. We're not pulling too hard. Here's the back side. Looking awesome. Now, the front side. Phew. Wow. I'll come back once everything is pressed. So here are all of my pressed bath bombs, and I know that the two colors look very similar, but this is actually teal and this is jade bath bomb dye, and jade is just slightly more blue and the teal is slightly more green. You would think it'd be the opposite, but But they look very, very similar in color. They both have glitter on top, but the bath bomb with the scales just has that little bit of extra pop, I would say. And I have all this mess to clean up, so I'm going to do that. So here are my dragon scale bath bombs the next day, and you can see that there is a slight difference in the two shades. This is again teal, and this is jade. Jade is more blue, the teal is more green. And the sparkles, or the glitter, against the scaly texture of the bath bomb just looks amazing. And these are the ones that I that I had a bit of trouble with. The first three, I think it was this one, and this one. And another thing that I wanted to say is, when that happens, when I have a bath bomb that falls apart, I try to save them. So let's see if I was able to get them to come together as one, even though they weren't one when I first pressed them. So let's start with this one. Okay, so I'm gonna lift it up from the bottom. So far, so good. Okay, so I think I managed to save this one. See how he's all in one piece? Okay, that's good. I'm really nervous about it falling apart here, but okay, so when you have a bath bomb where the two halves don't meet, you can usually save it by putting the halves together in this beautiful bath bomb tray. This is from the Bath Bomb Press Company, and just press the bath bomb together on the sides so that it forms a seal. Remember, the bath bombs are still slightly damp, so there might be enough moisture that will allow the two halves to come together. So that is one. Let's see about this one, if he was able to come together. Yes, this one also was able to come together. So it's not a complete loss if your bath bombs are falling apart in the first couple of presses. But you can see that the scales are super visible on the underside of this bath bomb, even though it was sitting in a bath bomb tray like this. That's one way to make these dragon bath bombs and still have a rounded bottom. Just get a bath bomb tray like this, and this is what you'll get at the end of it. So cool. All right, that's 2 out of 3. Now this one, this was also a troublemaker. And we have a whole bath bomb here. That is perfect. And you can see here where I tried to correct it by pressing bath bomb mix into the cracks. Success! Sorry, I'm just really obsessed with how beautiful these bath bombs look. Wow. Kayla and I finished watching Shang-Chi on Disney Plus, and these dragon balls remind me a lot of that dragon that was in the movie. And even though this bath bomb mold is technically mermaid scales, I think it looks like dragon scales. It could be whatever you want. Kayla and I really enjoyed Shang-Chi, by the way. It is a really, really great movie. Highly recommend. But I really love how these bath bombs turned out. We have found in Calgary that people have been responding more to the bath bombs that have a little bit of extra specialness in them. I worded that weird, but people seem to be drawn more to bath bombs that have cool little features like these scales, as opposed to these perfectly round ones. At least that's what we've been experiencing when we sell at markets. So if you are considering getting this bath bomb mold from Fizz Fairy, I highly recommend it. Look at the gorgeous bath bombs that you get. But if you're struggling with it, know that it's not a lost cause. Keep at it. Even if the first 3 are bad, just have a lighter hand when you're pressing it, and the rest should come out better. And even those first ones that came apart when you press them, you can still save them by just pressing the two halves together and letting gravity do its thing. I really hope that you guys liked this kind of video. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. If you want to see more, then please subscribe. And if you have been experiencing issues with 3D hand press molds, let me know in the comments, and maybe your workarounds or your own techniques with them that have made using them easier for you guys. Thank you to Fizz Fairy for their amazing molds. This is one of my favorites, I have to say. Just look at it. It's gorgeous. Beautiful bath bomb. And for those curious about the fragrance, I'm using Wash That Man Right Out of My Hair. Also a really beautiful fragrance oil that I really, really like and highly recommend as well. And I have links to everything in my description box down below. If you're curious about making these bath bombs the same way I did, I have the whole recipe and steps on my Patreon, in addition to 60 plus recipes of other Bath and Body products that I not only make but also sell to my customers. So if you're curious about any of that, the link is in my description box. And speaking of my Patreon, thank you to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and so generous, especially these guys, my bubble BFFs. Your generosity just blows my mind. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so, so much. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next one, keep smiling, keep being awesome, keep making beautiful, cool things like dragon egg bath bombs. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.